Welcome to EC&M Ask. I'm Randy Barnett. Just a couple of quick questions, Q&A today. We've got three, in fact. One is on 70E, one's on 70B, and one's on the National Electrical Code. The first one is Roger in Arkansas wants to know what changed in the NFPA 70E. Well, and be aware, a lot of people are saying, well, there's no major changes, don't worry about it and all that. No, there are some things that changed. It changed, it affects the way that you work in the field, and it also affects your electrical safety program. So, and you need to keep that up to date, right? That's only common sense. I mean, it's there to protect people. Why wouldn't you want to keep it up to date? So anyway, as far as the changes, some minor ones. They put the word electric in front of shock, kind of a common sense one, I thought. Be aware of, though, there are other types of shock other than electrical shock. I think we know that. In front of the word protectors, they removed the word leather that we put over our rubber gloves. And the reason is not all protectors are made of leather. Some of them have other materials as well. Definitions, so all of the definitions are now in Article 100. Two new definitions for radiation ionizing, non-ionizing. They apply back to Chapter 3. So if you work on things like, welders, UPS systems, variable speed drives, there's some possibility. Oh, the forklift charger, right? That's another one. But anyways, some of those pieces of equipment can emit what's called ionizing radiation. So anyway, we have to be aware of that, follow your requirements and the manufacturer's instructions, and be safe around that equipment then. 90.5C, explanatory material. This was always a point of confusion. People said, there would be a reference in 70E or wherever. It would say an informational note. For more information, refer to the blah, blah, blah National Electrical Code 2017 edition, something like that. And people go, oh, but we're on the 2020 or 2023 now, whatever. And so what they did is they removed a lot of those dates. And so now it just says refer to the NFPA 70 National Electrical Code, and then has no date. That means that you bounce your work across the latest code or standard, whatever it is they're referencing then. 110.3, big one on job safety planning. They've added another step as part of your job safety plan. You have to now include an emergency response plan. And we've seen this one coming for a while, but yeah, you have to have a written emergency response plan, as I always say. In the unlikely event that something would go wrong, what are you going to do? If you don't think about it till it happens, you're too late. So you plan that out ahead. Who's going to shut the power off, so on and so forth, now required in your job safety plan, the emergency response plan. Moving up to 120.6, it talks about, which is electrically safe work condition. And 120.6 gives us the steps to create that electrically safe work condition, electrical lockout, tagout. Small change, wording-wise, I just added a few words, but I think it's a very important change. When you do your live dead live test, so you take your meter, you verify it works properly on voltage, you check phase to phase, phase to ground in your cabinet, then you go back and you make sure your meter still works properly on voltage, right? That hasn't changed. What's changed is when you're in that cabinet, you're checking phase to phase, phase to ground, it says check at each point of work. And I think that's important, and here's why. If we just go into a cabinet and we go to the top of the cabinet and we say, yep, it's dead, we can go ahead and take our rubber gloves off, let's go to work in here, There could be back feeds. Wherever you're going to work, take that meter and measure at that point. So at each point of work. And in fact, in reality, what are you going to do? What I do? I check everything, man. I check here, there, everywhere. I check everywhere to verify it's electrically safe before I'm going to stick my hands in there and do any work, right? If you're using the tables in 130.7 for PPE category methods, just for DC systems. So if you're using PPE category method for things like your station batteries or something like that, the available fault currents have changed on that table. So just look at the table, make sure you're following the latest table then. I'll mention 130.8M, which is on reclosing circuits. And they deleted the word repetitive, which didn't really change the requirements, but here's the issue. A lot of people think, and I know I was talking umpteen years ago, right? Well, if that breaker trips, you can go ahead and reset it and close it again one more time and see what happens. And that's not true. That's not what 70E says. 70E says if the fuse blows or the circuit breaker trips, you go ahead, you get a qualified person, you investigate, you find the cause, you correct the cause, then you can reset that breaker and close it back in on the circuit again. New Informative Annex S, if I said that right, huh? For assessing the condition of maintenance, and NFPA 70B standard. So the NFPA 70B is now included in 70E in that informative annex. So it tells you what to look for, you know, and it's a new standard. In fact, that's the next question. We've got a question on, can we be fined for not complying with the NFPA 70B standard? And let's face it, there's no 70B police, right, that are going to come around and investigate your maintenance program and things like that. So NFPA 70B was the recommended practice for electrical equipment maintenance. It's now a standard, ANSI approved standard for electrical equipment maintenance. And here's how I understand it works with OSHA then. So if in the unlikely event, I would say, that you did have an incident, and had there been a known published ANSI approved standard that recognized that failure of a piece of electrical equipment as a potential hazard, and the standard told you, gave you some things to do to prevent that failure from happening, you could have possibly prevented an injury to someone. And that's, I think, where we're going to get in trouble with OSHA, right? And so we could be cited for 70B non-compliance, something like that. So anyway, be aware of that on 70B. And then the last question, I like this one. What changed in the 2023 NEC? Well, you got a couple of days, we can talk about that, huh? There's a lot there, but what I want you to look at, if you, and we don't have time, of course, in this short little clip to be able to go into any detail at all. Take a look at some of your new articles where they made some changes with this thing over 1,000 volts. For instance, we've always had Article 210, right, on branch circuits. That's nothing new. Now we've got Article 235 for branch circuits, feeders, and services over 1,000 volts AC, 1,500 volts DC. We've got Article 240 for overcurrent protection. Now we've got Article 245 for overcurrent protection for systems rated over 1,000 volts AC and so on. So new articles there. Article 305 is a new one. Wiring methods over 1,000 volts. Then I like to take a look back at Chapter 7. In Chapter 7, special conditions. And we've seen a breakdown of some of the, those class 1, 2, and 3 power supplies, as I always say, power limited circuits and all that. Now we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 articles relating to all of that. 722 is cables for power limited circuits and fault managed power circuits. What's that, huh? Article 724, class 1 power limited circuits. Class 2, or excuse me, 725 is on class 2 and 3 power limited circuits. And Article 726 is on class 4 fault managed power systems. So that's something new for the NEC. You should take a look at that as well. So anyway, in a nutshell, very brief, 13 new articles, some deleted articles, moving around of articles. All the definitions now in Article 1 are no longer, or not Chapter 1, Article 100, all those definitions are no longer broken up into parts. They're all just simply in alphabetical order. So jump into your NEC and start looking at all those changes. Till then, thanks for watching EC&M Asks.